All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Scott Richard. I'm your 2023 president for Wyoming Realtors, and I would like to introduce you to our next CEO. Many of you may remember her as the executive director for the Real Estate Commission. She's a third generation Wyoming native, came highly recommended, and absolutely crushed her interview during the search committee process. I'd like to welcome Nicole Novotny Smith as Wyoming Realtors' next new CEO. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you, Scott. Happy to be here. That was a great introduction.
Oh, my pleasure. We're happy to spend some time with you today. The purpose of this interview is just so that our members can get to know a little bit more about you. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. Well, let's dig right in. I want to give them some information on you, a little bit about your work experience, your past, your history, and then we'll dive into some more fun questions a little later. So, first
Okay.
question I'd like to ask you, Nicole, is what do you love the most about Wyoming?
I love the people in Wyoming, and I love the sense of community that's inspired by a big state like ours. With so few people, we have to rely on each other and find civility and community in the vast places and spaces around our state. So I love the people.
I don't disagree. I always like the comment that our government affairs director said that Wyoming's just one small town with really long roads.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, besides the beauty and the grandeur of just the natural beauty of our state, it's the people that make it special.
With the people that make it special, you are a third generation native to Wyoming. How did
Mm.
that how did that plan out?
How did that plan out?
Yeah.
I'm
Did you
the
ever think of leaving or was there never a question of that?
No, never a question. I was thinking about leaving for some graduate school opportunities, but I wanted to stay to be close to my nearest and dearest. But yes, third generation on my father's side, his family traveled to Wyoming as miners from Eastern Europe. So proud mining family,
Right?
proud mining heritage from Sweetwater County in my family.
There's very few Wyoming natives anymore, it seems like these days. I'm
It's
one
definitely,
myself.
yeah,
So
it's changing.
let's dig into a little bit about you. Tell me about yourself and some of your work experience.
Myself, okay. Yes, I left the University of Wyoming, I think on a Friday, and started work on a Monday, and started a 20-year career in state government, which was just, I guess, the easiest reach. It was I got a job right out of grad school, started working in legislative affairs, moved into public policy, then program management, and then executive management at the Real Estate Commission and the Liquor Division. And yeah, that's where I started, and I didn't think I would spend 20 years doing that, but I will say that my 8 years working with the real estate commission were it was the best time of my life, the best job I ever had until now. And
Good
and then
answer.
took a little break. Yeah, I took a little break and worked in software and tech for a little bit, but decided I really wanted to reinvest myself in Wyoming. So I'm thankful for this opportunity and that it brings me back to working in the state.
Who was the biggest influence on your career?
My mom, definitely my mother, lifelong public school teacher, also born and raised in Douglas, went into the army actually when she was 18. But she really believes in patriotism, public service, giving back to your community. And that was instilled in me very young. So I thought about being actually a nurse when I was very little. I wanted to be a nurse or a teacher like my mother, but ended up going more the government administration route and looking at public service and community building from that angle, which I think also lends to this role, right? Working in an association, serving others, serving our members of the Wyoming Realtors.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good point you bring up there. Serving our members is our priority. And I know not everybody always agrees with the decisions that we make, but I can tell everyone that we honestly make decisions in the absolute best interest of the association to keep us moving forward and in a positive light. But
yeah,
we
it,
do
it
we
and it
do
should
make tough
be,
decisions and it's hard.
yes, should be member driven, but having that collectivism and gathering that it takes a lot of work, frankly, but it's work that's worth it, I think. And by the way, I hope my mother gets a copy of this. She'll want to watch this interview she's very proud and very excited. So
We will publish it live to our members and allow you to share it.
allow a share to my
And
mom.
since you said that, because I'm going to do that, my mother was actually the biggest influence on my career also. She
Mhm.
was my mentor and helped me get started in real estate, which was the best move I ever made. So, okay, so now that you're going to be our new CEO, I think what's important for people to understand is a little bit about your leadership style. How do you intend to operate and run and manage the association?
I like to be a very responsive leader, a good listener, and I do mean it when I say a servant leader. I want to serve and I want to be a calm, cool, collected, reliable leader that you all as members feel you can lean into and that you can depend on. I like to keep a really calm, easy flowing office. I like everyone to be happy at what they're doing, but most importantly, have a sense of peace and calm because I think that everything is figure outable. Not my favorite quote, but it's one that I lean into a lot. We can figure it out. So I hope that I am that. I really want to listen and be responsive and have everyone that is a member or that works with this organization feel like they know me, they understand me, and that they know that I'm going to lead everyone in the right direction.
Figure outable, is that a word you created?
Yes, I don't think I created it. I think someone created it, but
And it
yes,
stuck?
I don't think it's the real word yet.
Gotcha. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good point that you bring up, though, is being relatable, being able to listen and understand. I think that's a large part of what our members are looking for is to be heard.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to listen as a leader. You have to be a good listener.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Listening is an important part of what we do. It helps us collaborate and move forward with changes that are positive for everybody. So let's dive into what made you apply for the CEO position.
I was saddened to hear that that Steve Beasley was looking at retirement, but also excited because this is a position I've actually longed to consider for many years. Actually, when I was the director of the Real Estate Commission, we had an amazing working relationship with Gyla Greenlee, with Steve Beasley, and with the association leadership overall. It was just fantastic. But that was not easily forged. I mean, we had to overcome some, I guess, damage to that relationship that pre-existed me. But I really was very interested in this position and hoped that at some point my life would allow me to apply for it. So that and just my love of working in real estate as an industry, my love of working with people like the realtors, but also our appraisers, and even in banking. I mean, just the best people I've ever worked with in my career. So I was anxious and excited at the opportunity to get to work with everyone again.
That's a great answer, by the way. And we do appreciate Steve and everything that he's done for our association. Uh, it's important to remember that he's given a lot of time, energy, and effort into what he's done, and he's greatly appreciated. Especially during this transition, we're looking forward to new opportunities as well with you to see where we can go with this.
Yeah, Steve and his staff always an open door, always took our calls, always made sure that the commission had what we needed and vice versa. It was just a fantastic relationship, and I hope that I can continue doing that great work in this role.
I would like to go a little deeper on that too, on the aspect of the relationship between the Real Estate Commission and Wyoming Realtors. The relationship that is there is impressive to other states, especially when we travel to different regions and we talk about our relationship with the commission and the fact that we all get together. We have meetings. I was invited to their meeting in January during our legislative meetings, and
Hmm.
also they're invited to our meetings at annual conference as well as the legislative meetings. So that relationship that was cultivated is impressive, especially to people outside of our state, because a lot of times those two entities do not talk and sometimes don't even get along.
No. No, it's like they almost see to it that they don't get along, which was odd to me. And yes, selfishly speaking, as the executive director, I was very proud that we were the envy of so many other states, that we had an excellent professional and most importantly, transparent relationship. I don't think either organization wants to look like you are in cahoots or doing anything under the table. I'm proud to say that that was never, ever the case. It was nothing but 100% professionalism on both sides. But we had an open dialogue where we could address Wyoming's issues, which is what we're supposed to do
Yep.
in protecting the public and then also looking out for the best interests of the industry. I mean, it's a win win. I don't know why states do what they do, but I'm proud that Wyoming does it differently and in a way that fits and meets the needs of Wyoming.
Yeah, it truly is impressive. And for our members that are listening into this, they may not know that, but it's a pretty remarkable feat that the relationship that we do have. So that kind of leads me into my next question. What do you hope to accomplish in the first year as the new CEO?
Well, I want to travel around the state and have some face to face time. I want to maybe talk with you about having some forums, some maybe a task force or two, really figuring out how we can fortify the association and embrace some new communication models. I think COVID, moving things remote, people feel disconnected, and I don't think that's something unique to or specific to this conversation. I think it's overall. So, did we lean too much into some of these formats that are fantastic? Maybe, but maybe we can also do some more face to face, some more outreach, and really hear from the members and figure out what do we need to do in the next 5 years. So, communication, FaceTime, but really bringing some efficiency and maybe some new technological advances to the workflows. Figuring out how we can just work better, faster, smarter, more efficiently while making sure members feel like we're just taking impeccable care of them and meeting their needs really quickly.
And informing them of what we're doing, what's changing, what's happening. Uh,
Well, this is a
this
great start.
this is a
They're
great
meeting.
start. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this is
absolutely.
technically the first video podcast or interview, if you will, that we've ever done to put out to our membership, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to feel informed but not bombarded. There's a difference. There's a
Correct.
difference between receiving that coupon from that store that you receive the email every day. That's bombardment. Feeling informed means you know what's happening and you feel like you know who to call or where to get answers if you have questions.
Yeah, and I think as we transition and move forward with that, listening to our members and getting their feedback will be crucial in understanding what and how we can do moving forward to better serve them. So
Right.
absolutely on board. Nicole, let's dig into some fun facts about you. So I'm going to ask
Okay.
you a series of questions. Just to we touched on the work aspect there, but let's touch on the personal side. What passions or hobbies do you have outside of work?
I have a passion for poetry and I write my own poetry. I've always loved writing and I love reading poetry. So if you have a good poem, send it my way. If any of you out there enjoy that. I also love volunteering for the Girls on the Run Wyoming program. That is a rather new program in the state, established in 2016, that helps young girls ages like third grade to eighth grade with an after school and camp format. But it's a curriculum aimed at helping our young girls feel confident, feel like they can do what they need to do, and move forward in life in a way that inspires confidence, not depletes confidence and what they think are their abilities. So I'm very passionate about that program and seeing to its success in Wyoming. I also was recently asked to join the Rocky Mountain chapter of the National Scleroderma Foundation. And I'm passionate about that, having a brother that lost his battle with scleroderma in 2021. And I'm proud to be a part of that organization to perhaps get some momentum in the state, just education information about that disease and what it means and how it impacts our citizens, our family, and our friends. So, volunteering is a passion, poetry, and probably eating. I think eating would be the second thing. If there's a new restaurant or something new to try, I'm all for it.
What's your favorite food since you just mentioned that?
Favorite food? Oh my gosh. Well, besides coffee, which I guess that would be a favorite beverage.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
yeah,
It
right,
keeps us
right.
going.
Yes, tacos. Definitely tacos. Any day of the
Tacos.
week. Yes.
Okay. That's a favorite in my household too. Taco Tuesday is a real thing for my kids.
You never can go wrong.
right?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm feeling a theme that you're just really passionate about helping people, and I think that was apparent to our search committee and your interview process of giving back. And I think that's a large part of what we do. We volunteer our time. You know, oftentimes members don't realize what we actually do, and we volunteer a massive amount of time to try to give back to our industry and make our association better. And I think you align perfectly with that for what our leadership team and our board of directors does to give back to our members. So happy to hear that answer. Let's go into what's your favorite holiday?
Oh, well, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Is that because of the food?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the warmth of the season. That the whole gathering and having a meal and football, which I enjoy watching football. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's just a great time.
I'm going to put you on
Yeah.
the spot. Who's your favorite football team?
Oh, lifelong Broncos fan. Easy.
All right.
Easy. Denver Broncos, UW Cowboys, obviously. Yeah, so that was pretty much, imposed. Like, you will be a Broncos fan, uh, growing up in this family. So
Yeah, I fought that urge and I ended up being a Charger fan, which most people from Wyoming don't like. But that being said, it's always fun to go watch their games. So,
yeah, better than a Chiefs fan, I would say,
oh,
or a Raiders fan,
you
right?
probably just made some enemies on that one. That's
Well,
the fun
yeah,
of it though, right?
right, right. You have those divisional rivalries and all of that history, and but then sometimes you cheer for your division depending upon what's happening in the playoffs. So yeah,
That is so hard. I realize we're supposed to cheer for the division if you lose, but when they typically beat your team, it's very hard to cheer for them. So,
right, yeah, right, right, yeah. But yeah, Thanksgiving, absolutely, pumpkin pie. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
I don't disagree. After
What's
Thanksgiving,
your
I usually
favorite
take a very
holiday?
long nap because I stuff myself entirely too much full of food.
What's your favorite?
My favorite holiday is probably Christmas.
Christmas.
I love Christmas. My boys are getting older these days. They're 14 and 10, but just the magic of watching them come out Christmas morning. Of course, it's a lot of hard work to get everything set up, but watching their eyes light up and seeing the magic and the spirit of Christmas and the meaning behind it, and just watching the pure joy and amazement in their eyes in the morning was always my favorite part. As they get older, I think my youngest understands that the reality of what Santa Claus is. He just hasn't admitted it yet. That being said, Santa Claus will always exist. He's always real in my world. And
Yeah,
if he does change that aspect of things, I'll get to sleep in on Christmas morning. So that wouldn't be a bad thing either.
right, right.
So are you a dog person or a cat person?
Well,
Or both?
I would 100% say dog person, but I will say that I've had a lifelong severe allergy to cats my whole life. So it's not that I have a dislike of cats at all. It's it's that their dander doesn't like me too much. So it is funny because if I go to any a house, or I was at my vet's office yesterday. I If there's a cat around, they will find me and love me, and and I want to love them too, but have to do that with some Benadryl nearby. But yes, dog person. I have participated in organizations for dog rescue, and my rescue dog Iris is sleeping over there in the corner. I'm thankful on this interview she's not snoring very loudly, but yes, yes. By default, I think dog person, but happy to call myself a dog person.
I'm a dog person also. I enjoy cats, but definitely a dog person, just the way I was raised. My
Yeah.
father was actually a canine officer for many years in Wyoming.
Oh,
So
I didn't
his
know.
idea of father-son bonding was to send his dog on me and attack me for training purposes. Don't worry, I had a big suit, but it
That
was
sounds reasonable. Yeah, sounds
yeah,
reasonable.
it was actually a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. Uh, I enjoyed it a lot actually, and they did too, sending the dogs on me. So, but I was also a teenager, so that sounded exciting. Today, no thanks.
I always love watching the videos when they retire a service dog.
Yes.
and they do, some sort of ceremony. I'm in tears. I usually am in tears watching it, but
Yeah, they
I
didn't do
keep
a
watching.
service for him. He was actually the first canine officer in Wyoming, but they
Oh,
didn't do a
wow.
service for the dog. However, he was able to let the dog retire and keep it, and he was an amazing dog. So, yeah. Okay, so
Nice.
are you an early riser or a late night owl?
Probably more of a night owl, but let's face it, I just love to sleep. I really am not the type of person that can stay up super late, nor am I the person that can get up really early. So I definitely would prefer, if there's something I have to do, I would stay up late to do it, not get up early to do it.
I
So,
typically have to get up early, but I'm more of a night owl myself. All right,
yes.
let's see. I You had mentioned this in your interview. What is your favorite kind of music?
Favorite kind of music. I was born into a very musical family. So my father, my grandfather, all musicians. My brother is a musician. So, and my mother loved to sing. She was always doing a lot of volunteer work singing, especially for our church community. And I did not get the musical bug, but I did get exposed to a lot of amazing music throughout my whole life. So I love everything from 1950s rock and the soul of the 60s, rock of the 70s, into, my favorite airs are probably the 80s and 90s. But people would be surprised to know that I actually love hard rock and heavy metal, like Metallica,
Yep,
Guns N' Roses,
that's what I
Pantera.
was waiting to hear.
Yes. And my husband's also a big fan. So I think that that definitely makes for a happy marriage, right? When you can agree what's okay on the radio. But I love new things too. So I'm really open and wanting to just love music and love what composes it, what thought or what feelings inspire it. So open to anything, but thankful to have an appreciation for music that was instilled in me by my parents.
So, did you ever go to a Metallica concert?
You know what? I've never been to a Metallica concert. Can you believe it?
Wow.
It's like it's never worked out, or there was some prohibition for me attending that. But Metallica is doing this really great endeavor, which I think makes a lot of sense to do in the movie theater. You can go see their concerts. So my husband and I have done that recently to see their concerts. You just do it in a movie theater, not live there. Their current upcoming tour, which sounds fantastic, costs a small fortune. So just being reasonable and frugal. I love Metallica, but I'm not willing to spend $900 for tickets to a concert.
Stick with the movie theater idea, right?
Yes, right, right.
So, what's your favorite movie and why?
Ooh, favorite movie. Well, I love movies as well. This is a tough one because there's so many movies that I dearly love, but I really love comedy. If I had to pick a movie to go see, it would be a comedy. Not, I don't love scary movies, just so everyone knows. Not that anyone would invite me to a scary movie, but not my thing. Uh, I probably would say Tommy Boy, Chris
Tommy
Farley.
Boy. So total
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah, yeah. That's probably it. If we, you have those days where you're thinking, what should I put on? What I just need a movie on. It would always be Tommy Boy for me, or The Office, which is not a movie, but the
Right.
American version of The Office with Steve Carell.
So, is that because you need a release to laugh? Is that because why?
I think it's because I like things to be lighthearted, fun. I just have a very different physical and emotional response to like excessive violence or to scary kinds of things. I don't mind an action movie. I just think I prefer to keep things more lighthearted. I think life's tough enough, right?
Right.
Find some laughter in it if you can.
Find the humor in everything, right? And enjoy
Right.
the process. I couldn't
Right.
agree more on that one. Is there a book that you think everyone should read?
Well, book literature and books are personal, so I think it's kind of personal preference. But Not to sound scary, but 1984 is probably one that I think everyone should read. But I also really love, and I haven't read it for a while, but it's a book that really grabbed me, 100 Years of Solitude by Marquez. Uh, just a fascinating read. It's like that South American magical realism following this family for 100 years. It's a really fantastic read, and so I suggest that to a lot of people looking for something different to read.
What about the 1984? Can you touch in on that one? Why that one?
Well, Orwellian themes are their own. They've really stood out and stood the test of time as their own thing, right? And now we sort of have this a lot of movies and films and more books that are dystopian, right? But I think that it's a beautiful book in terms of like showing how we can be manipulated in some ways. Contemplating what really is it to be free and to have liberty, and to trust in what you know versus what you're told.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit more depressing of a
I was
book,
gonna say
but I
that's
guess
not a comedy, Nicole. That's a little deep.
it's not. But it is a deep book. Well, comedy. The books that I keep nearby my desk are the Jack Handy Deep Thoughts. Do you remember Jack Handy from Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
Yeah, so there I have the little booklets where he shares a deep thought, and so yes, I do have a have
Just to bring a smile to your
comment.
face.
Yes, but
Yes.
yeah, I guess 100 Years of Solitude is also a kind of a sad book. So
Well,
maybe I like sad literature. I'm okay with that.
you like sad literature but funny movies, so it's a good balance.
Funny, right? It is a good balance.
What about things that maybe motivate you, such as like a favorite quote?
My favorite quote, I have a lot of favorite quotes, but I think the quote that I say to myself a lot is fortune favors the bold. Just that Latin proverb.
Yep.
I do believe that we should be bold in our lives and do the things that are a little bit scary, take risks. And so, yeah, I guess I like believing that somehow fortune will smile on people that take the bold path in life.
Well, no risk, no reward, right?
Right. Go big
Yeah.
or go home.
Go
Yeah.
big or go home. Yeah, I do enjoy that quote myself. I think another one that I personally like on that one is don't let someone's opinion of you become your reality. And that was
Right.
from Les Brown. Don't let somebody else's story basically tell you who and what you're going to be. That it's entirely up to you as an individual. So don't let
Mhm.
that story become your reality.
Right. Well, and I love the idea of boldness. I think we live in a strange time where rage and anger and fury are sort of considered bold. And I don't
Yes.
know. I think that's a misalignment. I think bold, it doesn't have to be loud or angry or you know enraged in that way. I think boldness can be soft and quiet and intense. And maybe I just wish and want for a little more boldness in people and in life. But
I like
yes,
that.
I love that too. You really do have to stay tuned into yourself and who you are, and just be true to that, rather than what everyone else wants you to think you are, or wants you to be in terms of their endeavors. Yeah.
Great answer. Hey, so I'm going to kind of pull this back in and wrap this up here shortly. I know the attention span of our Realtor members might not be this long, so I'm going to kind of pull it up. Is there anything that you would like to share with our members that maybe we didn't touch, or something that you want to just spread a
Good,
message?
good question. I'm just getting my feet wet here. I'm really excited. I cannot convey how excited and honored I am to be stepping into this role. I've worked with other industries, Scott, and bar none, real estate professionals, realtors are the best. And I've said that. I've even said that to my husband. When I told him that I was thinking about applying for this job, he looked at me and said, "You would be crazy not to." And I said, "Really? You think so?" And he said, "Nicole, you loved everything about working with that industry. but they loved you. And he said, I've never seen you so loved. And I guess I didn't think about being loved, but it's true. Real estate professionals, and especially those in Wyoming, the realtors in Wyoming, are some of the most generous, kind, and helpful people I've ever met. And that's a treasure in your industry. Not only are you generous, you are committed to excellence. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way because things are changing and shifting, but with the structure of the National Association, with the structure of the state and your local boards, you have pathways for best practices and excellence in the industry that other industries just completely lack. And it's a big deal. So I am just tickled, honored, and so happy to do this work. And I just hope that everyone feels comfortable approaching me. I do not have an email address yet for my work with the association, but once that's posted, feel free to reach out, email, call. I just really look forward to hearing from everybody and working with you to build the new thing, to build the next thing. I think it's already great, but we certainly have some work to do to catch up with the industry changes, where things are going. So I think that as visionaries, we just have some work to do to figure out the next steps for the association.
Well, the work never ends. We
It
all know
doesn't.
that one. It's just the next chapter is what I like to call it. Next chapter of
Right.
seeing where we're going to go. I do recall you saying that when we asked you, why you wanted to work, you had mentioned that you just absolutely love realtors, and that's a huge part of what we are as a realtor family. I think a lot of people don't realize that yes, we may be competitors and we're fierce at that and what we do, but at the same time, we're also united with a very strong voice in our advocacy work, in our volunteer work, and just helping the community and the public to achieve their homes, and what they want to do with properties. So that brings me to another question. I'm going to bring this one back in. I know I was trying to wrap it up, but if you were able to build your dream home, what would that look like?
My dream home. Oh my goodness. Well, of course, a realtor would want to know. Are you going to go speculating here after this call?
Well, the next
Uh,
question is going to be, do you have a realtor?
do I have,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding. I won't put you
Under
on the spot.
Oh goodness. Um, so I really love brick homes, and I really love like ranch style, kind of that sprawling home. So I think that my perfect home would have a lot of space for gathering, obviously for my family, and I would have a nice office area that looks out, kind of like your background there, looks out into nature, gets inspiration from nature. Now, in terms of if that was just my house, that would be just perfect. As long as I had a big bed, a great kitchen, and some room for gathering, I would be very happy. My husband, however, he's a mechanical engineer and he loves cars. Anything fast, motorcycles, cars, you name it. So he would need a garage and maybe even an apartment in that garage where he can go be in be in his
Be
happy
in his
place.
happy space.
Yes. Yes. So that would make me just very happy. And probably with some acreage. I've never had a home with acreage, but I've always thought about it, and my husband and I've talked about it a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us, Nicole.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
we're excited to see what you're going to accomplish. We're happy to have you coming on board. We're looking forward to working with you. I just want to let our members know that if you'd like to meet Nicole in person, our leadership team is planning a caravan to visit every board in Wyoming. It is going to be an extensive travel. This is not something that's going to be, should I say, we're going to show up at your meetings. We're going to show up to you and asking you to come to us so that we can get with everybody and we can hear your concerns. We can listen to you. We can learn, we can grow, and we can be better. So if you would like to be a part of that, please stay tuned. We're going to send out an email soon. It's going to be in June. And we're looking forward to coming to you guys so that we can introduce you to, again, the leadership team, Nicole, our new CEO, hear your concerns, hear your voices, and make ourselves better for our association moving forward. So, Nicole, thanks for being with me today. Really appreciate having you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
No, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Scott. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in person and seeing everyone around the state.
All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you got some insight on our new CEO, and we look forward to coming and visiting you soon. Thanks.